We are live. Hey guys, I'm Wolfie, and today we have some things to talk about. NFL weekend analysis of the wildcard games. Go through them, see how they went, see how they go, and just be like, was there good games? Was there bad games? There's definitely not good games. And then we'll go through like each team, be like, what's their future, and try and just go through it. And then I'll look forward to the next wildcard games. And then, of course, we'll talk about Sam Darnold and his situation and how that helps out Brock Purdy and his situation as well. We'll get to that. And that is what we have on the docket. It may not be an hour show, but we'll see what happens. All right. And keep in mind, guys, I will be going live with the 49ers media at 4:30 today. So, yeah, we got a packed day today, guys. We got a packed day. The content never sleeps. So let me go ahead and drink a little bit of my coffee so I can wake the fuck up. Papa J in the house. Good to see you. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Appreciate you as always, man. The best mod of Broken Ass Score. All right. Let's go ahead and just jump right into it, which is let's first talk about the big one, which I think is the Sam Darnold talk. And how Sam Darnold supposedly is better than Brock Purdy. That is over. It's all done. We don't have to worry about that anymore. Anyone else who has that kind of opinion is just in denial at this point. We got Val in the house. Good to see you. Good to see you. Sam Darnold, yeah, he had a pretty good year, 14 games that he played. But let's take a look at his stats, actually, and we'll compare them to Brock Purdy's 2023 season. And hold on real quick. Let's go Sam Darnold. I'm a little unprepared. I'm not gonna lie to you. Papa J's showing some love. That's what I like to see. Let me look it up real quick. NFL QB stats. All right. And while I look that up real quick, yeah, so Sam Darnold is obviously cannot handle the pressure. He cannot handle the big moments, the big situations, especially against the Lions. You kind of saw, you're like, okay, maybe that's just like a one-time thing. Maybe because everyone is allowed to have a bad game. You know, Brock Purdy's had bad games. Lamar's had bad games. Joe Burrow's had bad games, just really look terrible. Even Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, right? But as for Brock Purdy, man, as for Sam Darnold, you knew this was going to happen because he never truly had a big game moment. Primetime games, sure. Not as big as compared to like what you have to get in the W to get the number one seed. Also, the wild card game against the Rams, who were struggling on offense. Up to this playoff situation, they were struggling on offense. There was an opportunity to take advantage of these Rams. This Rams defense played well. Sure, they played pretty good, especially in the first half. The O-line for Sam Darnold wasn't very good. It was not very good. I'll give him that. But if you really go back and look on it, and I don't have the stats up here right now, but Sam Darnold held onto the ball for 4.72 seconds on average. 4.72 seconds on average, that motherfucker held onto the ball, and that is insane. That is an insane amount of time for Sam Darnold to hold onto the ball. He didn't throw it away. He was terrible on screens. When they needed him most, he could not pass the ball to save his life. They were underthrown behind. I think he may have thrown like 1 or 2 dots in that game. 4.72 seconds on average I think would be best in the league. The man did not know how to take care of the football. Also, sometimes when he's in the pocket, he'll break out of his protection and get a little bit like come to the left, like that fumble, for example. He should not have come out of that pocket. And then Witherspoon came in and had that strip sack on him. That strip sack was on him. That interception that he threw to Kobe Durant was terrible. The man was covered from the jump, and he threw the ball to him, seeing ghosts. And if you actually go back and look at that play, there's a player, I don't remember who it is, but there's a crossing route. He gets wide open. If Sam Darnold throws him the ball, it is a first down plus. Barring he doesn't, underthrow it or throw it behind him, of course. But there was opportunities out there. There were some screens he missed. He missed like 3 or 4 screens. Screens, the most basic average play of any fucking quarterback out there. All right? I haven't seen that bad of screen passes, screen plays like that since Blaine Gabbert. And Blaine Gabbert couldn't even throw a screen pass. It was terrible. So this notion that Sam Darnold is better than Brock Purdy, because Brock Purdy in the biggest moments, such as facing Brock Purdy in his big moments, rookie year, wild card wins, divisional wins. The only time he loses in that game was because he tore his PCL and it was the second drive of the game, right? He's out of it. Next time he goes to playoffs, wins the divisional, wins the NFC Championship game, and goes to the Super Bowl in overtime against a quarterback and head coach duo that is considered one of the greatest of all time. Not only that, he got closer than any other quarterback that year to beating that team. So to say that Brock Purdy is like, oh, well, you know, these quarterbacks, maybe you should be paying these quarterbacks in general because obviously they can't get it done. Brock Purdy gets it done. He's the reason we beat the Lions, being down by so many points. He's the reason why we beat the Green Bay Packers, down by so many points. Brock Purdy wins big games, and do not tell me he can't win big games because he didn't win the Super Bowl. Sorry, playoff games are big games. Those are big fucking games. Playing for the number 1 seed and battling for it are big games. So to say that Brock Purdy can't win those big games is ridiculous. He did it his rookie year and did it the next year he went into the playoffs. Playoffs are a different breed. They are a different breed, different situation, as clearly you saw it. Sam Darnold knew that all the pressure was on him and he couldn't handle it. Jordan Love couldn't handle it. Justin Herbert, people say he's better than Purdy, couldn't handle it. These quarterbacks can't handle it. Brock Purdy can, is proven to be. Because no matter what Kyle Shanahan is, no matter what weapons around him, if Brock Purdy couldn't handle the big moments, we never would have came back against the Packers. We never would have came back against the Lions. We never would have went into overtime against the number 1 defense in the Chiefs. Barring Chris Jones being unblocked, that game may have been different. We don't know. There is so many things that you can say where it's like, okay, well, like come back to it, where like, okay, you shouldn't be paying these quarterbacks because they can't do it. Brock Purdy can do it. He's done it. Joe Burrow has done it. He's gone to the Super Bowl, won big games. Guess what? Lost in the Super Bowl. So we're going to say Joe Burrow can't win big games now? Are we going to say that? Are we going to say that Joe Burrow cannot win big games? Because that's what you'd be saying. And don't tell me he doesn't have weapons. T. Higgins, Jamar Chase. Stop it. Stop it. Absurd. Okay? Brock Purdy can win big games. He deserves his contract and deserves the money he's going to give it to him. Because what matters, regular season, sure, he doesn't win the MVP, right? Has a little bit of off season, a little bad season this recent season. But even though like all the variables were all against him, injuries, defense is bad, holdouts, the rest, everything was terrible. Everything was working against him. But I promise you, if he got in the playoffs, he would have performed significantly better than these quarterbacks would have. Significantly better. And the proof is in the pudding. He's done it twice in a row. The only time he's been stopped is because literally an injury stops him from throwing the ball, or Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, who are considered the greatest of all time at their positions, stops him and went into overtime. So to say this, ridiculous. Ridiculous. Sam Darnold is not better than Brock Purdy. Jordan Love is not better than Brock Purdy. Justin Herbert is not better than Brock Purdy. Because we all know what you do in the playoffs matters. And what they did in the playoffs was the reason why they lost. Brock Purdy was not the reason why we lost the Super Bowl. Brock Purdy was the reason why we won against Detroit Lions. Brock Purdy was the reason why we beat the Packers. Brock Purdy was the reason why we beat Seattle and Dallas that year in his rookie season and went into the NFC Championship game. It wasn't Brock Purdy's fault that we lost in overtime against Patrick Mahomes. So pay the man. Pay the man for that trait alone. That trait alone should get you paid. Because those quarterbacks don't just fall out of trees, my man. They don't. He's got it. He's got it. This year, Brock Purdy felt like everything was on his shoulders, and he had to make it happen. And Brock Purdy did that. He did that in the playoffs the last year, not this recent year, but last year before that and year before that. He did that. This year, he felt like he had to do a little bit more. And I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all. So that's my defense for Sam Darnold over Brock Purdy situation. I think it's absolutely ridiculous that people are still sticking to it and then saying, well, then you just can't pay him because these quarterbacks can't do it when Brock Purdy has done it. Right? So how can you say, oh, and now you're switching up, oh, well, Love can't do it, Herbert can't do it, so maybe these quarterbacks are holding him back, so you shouldn't pay him. Brock Purdy literally did it. So how does that excuse make sense? Get the fuck out of here. You don't have an excuse. You sold your soul. You sold your pride to Sam Darnold. You put all your eggs in the one basket to Sam Darnold. And you failed to the people who are Sam Darnold defenders. Now you have to wear that on your sleeve. Deal with it. Stop trying to deny it. Stop trying to hide from it. Accept it. Say that you were wrong. Because there's no excuse. Like I said, Sam Darnold choked in the playoffs. Couldn't do it. Then your next excuse was, well, you shouldn't be paying these quarterbacks because they can't do it. Brock Purdy did it. So where's the excuse? Are you going to say Joe Burrow can't do it? Because he went to the Super Bowl and lost. But he could do it. You got nothing. You got nothing. Pay the man. Pay the man. All right. We got some comments here. Go Blue Productions in the house. Good to see you. Good to see you. Val in the house. We're showing some love. That's why I like to see. Good shit, Papa. Hey, hi. I'm high. Thank you. I am not high, actually. I haven't been stoned in quite some time. I Papa J, Wolfie, and everyone in the YouTube channel. I hope everyone has a great Tuesday. So far, so good. Eagles will be ready for the Rams. They definitely will. Now it's time for the Eagles to beat the Rams. To give you guys a sneak peek at my predictions, I definitely got the Eagles beating the Rams on this one. That defense, I feel like, will be a lot better than these Vikings. What they did. That offensive line is better than what the Vikings were. Vikings were considered one of the top 9, top 10 offensive lines. The Eagles have the best offensive line in the league. They have all the weapons to make it happen. They have the defense to make it happen. They have the special teams to make it happen. I think this might very well be the game that the Rams fall. And so I'll give you a sneak peek on that. I think the Rams actually I think the Eagles take the W here. So yeah, I do think that, however, if the Rams were to play the Lions in the NFC Championship game, that'd be a great game. That'd be an excellent game. If Washington loses, of course. Darnold ain't as good as Purdy, way better than Darnold. 110%, man. Proof is in the pudding. I should be on Rambo tonight. All right. Shout out to Rambo. Sam Darnold should call Ghostbusters after he was terrible. He was like, what the fuck? He had some serious issues there. Darnold, thanks, bro. My daughter can't wait to beat the Rams the second time. Gotta do it. What was the score in that game? Hold on, let me check the score in that game. Rams. Let me just look at Rams real quick. What was the score? Eagles won 37-20. Okay. And it was relatively recent. It was on November 24th, which is like what, the 10th or 11th game, somewhere around there. Could be tripping. Go Eagles. I can't believe I just said that. Shake my head. Well, it's either that or go Rams. And I feel like you'd rather see the Eagles win. You gotta pick lesser of the two evils, my man. Let's go Eagles. I want the Washington to beat the Lions. Dom goes bye-bye. If that would be easier competition for sure, though. So I can see why. Preach! I'm preaching. Amen. Thank you. Appreciate you guys. I'm playing Madden 24 in the face of the franchise mode. Dude, dominate. I'm assuming you're the quarterback. Do what you got to do. Do you think we should keep Mason or trade him for picks? He's going to be an RFA, so some players are whoever signs him is going to give us picks for him. So I'm just going to let that chip fall. If I was the GM, I would let the chip fall the way it does there. If someone wants to sign him, I let him go, and then we get a draft pick out of it. If someone doesn't want to sign him, that's fine. I guess we'll just sign him to whatever contract we'll keep him for. Hopefully somewhere around $5 million, $6 million, nothing too expensive, of course. But yeah, man, I would definitely just let the chips fall on that one. If someone wants to sign him, we get a draft pick anyway. So that's how I approach it. Yeah, it's a backup. So like $5 million, $6 million. I like Garendo, but I like the three-headed horseman thing we could pull off. I do like some of these running backs in this draft. There actually are some pretty good running backs in this. This draft has tight ends and running backs. It truly does. There's some really good running backs here that I actually really do enjoy. Nick Singleton is probably – I know Scatabo is a fan favorite for the 49ers right now. I like him too, but he's definitely going to be – he's going to run slow in the combine, which is going to, dip his draft position a little bit, probably to the third, fourth, maybe even fifth round. But I would totally probably get someone like that. I like Scatabo, but I also like Nick Singleton from Penn State. I'm a big fan of Nick Singleton from Penn State. When I see Nick Singleton on Penn State, man, I see literally the 49ers offense on the field. It looks like he can catch. He can catch the ball. He's really good at one cut goes. He's got the speed. He's got the runaway speed. He's probably not going to run like super fast like Garendo speed. What, like 4.4, right? 4.5. He might be able to do it. Nick Singleton is dope. I like Nick Singleton. So I'm a big fan of that. Nick Singleton as running back. If we lose Mason, of course. If we end up retaining Mason and we retain Isaac Garendo and we got CMC coming back, I do not think we should draft a running back in the third or fourth round just because we officially have 3 running backs. And I think at that point, especially 3 that you think can start for the team, Isaac Garendo, Mason, and CMC, you're doing too much, especially with a high value pick with a third or fourth round. But if Mason goes, I would use whatever pick we get with Mason for Mason and use that on running back. So it's kind of like you're just recycling at that point. You know what I'm saying? So because you'll probably get like a third or fourth round pick for him. So yeah, that's what I would do. I would just let the chips fall, get a draft pick from the if someone signs Mason, use that draft pick on running back. So you're just recycling at that point. So if you had only one choice, who would you keep? Mason or Isaac? I would keep Isaac. He is younger. They both have injury issues, so you're not exactly – it's a gamble either way with one you'd keep. But Isaac, I feel like, has a way higher ceiling. He's shown that – I'm not saying Mason doesn't have a clutch trait, but Isaac Garendo has shown that he has a clutch trait. And it's a good one. He's got runaway speed. Looks like he can catch the ball better than Mason. I like Isaac has higher potential. Add Mason, add Isaac as fullback. That is a Larry Krueger. That's a Larry Krueger move right there. I wouldn't do that though. I don't think he's a fullback. I wouldn't be against it. But what about Ashton Genty? I would never use a first-round draft pick on a running back right now, especially since you got 3 running backs. That'd be terrible. And Ashton Genty is going to be a first-round draft pick, 110%. Most likely he's going to go to the Cowboys. Yeah, Michael's got it right. Most likely Cowboys are going to draft him because Cowboys' number 1 need right now is running back. That is their biggest hole. And Ashton Genty is one of the best running backs in quite some time to come out of the draft. He's phenomenal. He's a phenomenal player. Probably should have won the Heisman, somewhere around there. But no, Ashton Genty should not be a first-round draft pick. And if you're thinking, okay, don't draft tackle, get a skill position player at 11, right? Running back shouldn't be your number 1 choice. It should definitely be a wide receiver. It should be a D-end maybe if you're not thinking tackle. So in the first round, it's just not a necessity. It's not a necessity, and there's options out there that will help the team right away a lot faster than Ashton Genty. So, yeah, that's how I feel about that. Hold on, let me drink some coffee. I was almost falling asleep. I almost missed this live, guys. I had to drink some coffee just to wake my ass up. So, in the draft, man, we should always obviously go for tackle. Tackle is super important. The thing is, I know that some people do not like tackle and some people criticize tackle a little bit just because it's not flashy. Tackle's not flashy. You don't see them on the field a lot. They don't do the passes or anything like that. But I'm telling you, it's important. Tackle is super, super, super. It is considered either the second or third most important position on the field. It's just not flashy. That is it. But it's important. It protects your highest. It protects your biggest investment, which is your quarterback. Right? And at the 11th pick, you can get a starter right away who would be better than McKivitz potentially. And that is always a W in my mind. So tackle is 110% a need at that position. If not, get a skilled player that is a steal at that point. Be it Mason Graham, if he falls to you, Abdul Carter. Please, Abdul Carter. If he falls to you, take him. By some bloody miracle, Travis Hunter falls to you, draft him. So there's 3 players I would take over a tackle, which is a huge need for the 49ers at 11. So what are the spreads next week's game? I can take a look at that. 49ers media in the house. You sent me a link for later. All right, man. Definitely. Hey, guys, this is we're going to go ahead later at 4:30 Pacific time. I'll be joining 49ers media. We're going to talk DC coordinators, special teams coordinators. That's why I'm not talking about it right now. So that way we can save the conversation for that live later at 4:30. And yeah, we're talking about DC coordinators, special teams coordinators, and then we're obviously going to talk about Brock Purdy's contract, what we think he deserves, and of course the latest on San Francisco 49ers news. Hopefully we get some more news on some other coordinators in the future. I've heard Robert Saleh, just a little sneak peek. I heard Robert Saleh likely might be the DC defensive coordinator. But that was just one article, and that could just be bullshit. So be sure to check out 49ers Media. Give him a like, follow. He's got good content, man. He's very consistent. It's something he loves to do. You can tell. Go out there and show some support for your boy. Good guy. Check it out. We got spreads for next week. Let's do that. I don't want to do predictions yet. This is not like my official predictions. I'm not going to do official predictions until the Wolfie and Poggy show on Friday. That's when I'll do official predictions for the for the wild card, not wild card, but the divisional round. Let me bring it up real quick. Let's go ahead and I will share this. These are the odds. 110% media, 110%, man. 110%, man. All right. Here we go. ESPN Bet NFL odds. This is according to ESPN. They have the Texans underdogs by 8 whole points against the Kansas City Chiefs. And they got the over and under at 41.5 to 41.5. I think this might be under 41.5. Both offenses are relatively struggling. I understand what happened with the Chargers, but that was different. At the half, it wasn't very many points scored. I think it was like 10-6 or some shit heading into the third quarter. And then the Texans just finally broke away because the Chargers finally collapsed. I don't see the Kansas City Chiefs defense pulling that off, though. Their offense is struggling. Houston Texans offense is struggling. Their defense is not the best. It's still good. Houston Texans have a good defense, but the Kansas City Chiefs have an excellent defense. So it might very well be a Chiefs win for sure. But 8 points, that's crazy. That's crazy. I would take the under of 8 points, right? I would probably take the under. I think it's going to be a one-score game, be it a garbage time touchdown that makes it a one-score game. I just don't think the Chiefs are going to break away from the Houston Texans. I just don't think that's going to happen because that's pretty much what you're saying. You're saying here that it's going to be a 2-score game if you take the over on that. So I wouldn't take the over on that situation at all. And then you got the 41.5. I'm going to take the the under on the 41.5. I don't think it's going to be a scoring fest. It's probably like 20-17 game, something like that, 20-14, something weird like that, 21-14. So, yeah, but I definitely got, as of right now, I'm thinking Kansas City Chiefs. That's not official, though. That won't be official to the Wolfie and Poggy show on Friday. So, Eric Sean in the house. Bustin' Burber. That's such a funny name. Bustin' Burber. The fuck? Oh, that's funny. Oh, Brock Purdy is so bad. Nah, Brock Purdy's legit. Anyone but the Chiefs and the Ravens, please. Anyone with the Chiefs or Eagles, I would definitely take if it was between the two, I'd definitely take the Eagles. The Chiefs just need to get shut down. 110%, man. We got anyone but the Chiefs and Ravens. What do you got against the Ravens? 49ers meeting. We got against the Ravens. I got no animosity against the Ravens. Yeah, they've beaten us in a Super Bowl like 14, 13 years ago, and that's about it. I guess they did beat us on Christmas Day, but I mean, every team, you're going to play every team at some point. So, It's honestly anyone but the Chiefs. Like, it's anybody but the Chiefs. I'd much rather not be the Rams, Eagles. Obviously, the Vikings are gone now, so it's really at this point Rams, Eagles. I'd be satisfied with the Lions. I'd be satisfied with the Bills. I'd be satisfied with the Texans. That's who I'll be satisfied with right now, for sure. So I'm not a hater of the Rams like that. I would easily take the Rams over the Eagles. Over the Chiefs. The Chiefs need to stop their three-peat. The three-peat cannot happen at all costs, even if it's a divisional rival. I do not care. I do not care. That three-peat has to be stopped. It has to be. So as of right now, that's what I have going on. Anyone with Chiefs or Rams, I changed my answer. Still mad about that 2013 Super Bowl. Damn, man. Bills and Lions had it worse out of the remaining teams. I don't even know that. Yeah, the Chiefs got to go. They got to go. I want my daughter's team to win it. 110%, man. Of course. That's family, man. That's family. You got it. Got it. It's family. So, shit. I didn't share it. There we go. Boop. All right. So, these are the odds so you guys can see it. My bad. I thought I was showing it. Whoops. All right. So that's the odds for Houston Texans and Kansas City Chiefs, according to ESPN. Washington Commanders at the Lions. 10-point favorites, dude. That's wild, man. That is cray-cray. Yes, that's right. I just said cray-cray. Took you back to the 2010s. Okay. That is cray-cray, dog. That is so not swag. Let me see if did the Lions play against the Commanders? I think the Lions played the Commanders earlier this year, didn't they? Could have sworn. Nope. It looks like I'm tripping acid. Rams, Bucks, Cardinals. They did not play the Commanders yet, so this could be a different breed. I don't know. I am a big fan of Jaden Daniels, and I really do want the Commanders to win. I truly, from the bottom of my heart, I want them to win. Heck, I want them to win the Super Bowl. But it's just such an underdog. They're like the biggest underdog of this entire playoffs. One of the biggest next to the Steelers before they got knocked out. Like the chance of that happening is slim to none. But I would want them to win out of all of them is the Commanders. Truly. I'm a big fan of Jaden Daniels. I believe in him. Adam Peters is a former 49ers assistant GM. So we're kind of connected to that team a little bit. I'm a fan of Dan Quinn. I've always liked his defense. I even liked him as a head coach with the Falcons. I know some people want to hold it against him because that's Super Bowl, but I don't, man. I'm a fan of this team. I really am a fan of the Washington Commanders in this situation. So, but I just don't think they're going to do it. It's realistically, if I'd be real with myself, like it would be hard for me to bet on it, right? It's what happens. So, fair enough. I told her if they win, I'd buy an Eagles jersey and change my Snapchat icon to an Eagles player. I heard about that. 49ers Brian told me about that, and I think Nikita said that too. Like if you guys win the Super Bowl, you're going to hook her up with a Saquon Barkley jersey. That's whipping out the cash, man. That's one of the most expensive jerseys out there. Go Texans, Commanders, Eagles, and Bills. The thing with the Texans, man, I know that D'Amico Ryans is out there, and I'm a big fan of D'Amico Ryans. And I understand that there's going to be like there's going to be one narrative I'm not going to like, which is, oh, we should have kept D'Amico Ryans instead of Kyle Shanahan. You're going to hear that. You know, same thing probably with the Commanders. If the Commanders win it, you're going to hear, oh, we should have kept Adam Peters over John Lynch. I see it now. But I'd much rather deal with that narrative than the Sam Darnold narrative we were dealing with earlier. Okay, that's gone now. But the Texans one, that one narrative is going to be annoying as fuck to hear. But coming back to it, I also am not a fan of Texas. I'm not a fan of any Texas team, right? I'm just not. I'm not a fan of the Texans. I don't like their logo. I just don't like it. I just don't like it. I'm not a big fan of their jerseys. literally the only reason why I'd want the Houston Texans to win is because of DeMeco Ryans and the love I have for that guy. He did phenomenal for us. He helped us a lot. I think he was better than Robert Saleh. Then that's on the top of my head. You could have actually checked the stats, and I could be wrong. But based on what I saw, I just like DeMeco Ryans more than Saleh. I just think it was a Houston versus Washington Super Bowl, both sides as a 49ers head coach. That's true. That's a fun way of looking at Michael Bila. It'd be DeMeco Ryans versus Adam Peters. Who has the better team? DeMeco Ryans, though, come on. I know exactly. That's the only reason why I wouldn't root for them. If DeMeco Ryans was not the head coach for the Texans, I'd be rooting against them 110%. If Alshire and I don't know if Jimmy Ward is still on that team, a couple 49ers are on that team. I kind of want them to win a Super Bowl. If that wasn't the case, if they didn't have any relation to the 49ers at all, I would not be rooting for them whatsoever. I would not want them to win. I have a signed Montana helmet coming. Was my grad gift for my parents. That is awesome, dude. That is fucking awesome. I'm jealous, dude. I'm serious jealous. I fucking wish I had something like that. That's cool, dude. That's a great gift. That's a great gift. Honestly, Montana is one of – okay, I've met celebrities before, and I'm like, whatever, they're just people. I know some people just say that. But when it comes to, like, football, being a little bit of a hypocrite here, but a little contradictory when I say this, but, like, if I met Joe Montana and I shook his hand, I'd be like, this is the hand that threw the catch. This is the hand that won 4 Super Bowls. I'd be losing my shit. Same thing with Jerry Rice, man. If I met Jerry Rice, I'd probably be just completely starstruck. Jerry Rice, Joe Montana, Patrick Willis. If I met him, that'd be wild. He'd be up there. Frank Gore. I'd probably just be so – I'd be like, pleasure to meet you, man. Those would be like one of the players where I'd just be so nervous. Not so much Joe Staley. Heck, maybe even – no. Like right now, that's how I feel about it. Yeah, those are my biggest favorite 49ers of all time. Patrick Willis, Frank Gore, Joe Montana, Jerry Rice, Steve Young, sort of, but I kind of like Joe Montana a little bit more. But I'd be dancing with Jerry, right? Oh my God, you'd have that moment where you didn't know how to let go of his hand. Like, should I let go? Is this too long of a time? Should I hug him? Right? Should I go, we're not worthy? All right, so let's go jump back over to the Washington Commanders versus Detroit Lions. They are favored by 10 points. I don't think that's going to happen, but I can see it compared to the Houston Texans Chiefs game. That one I feel like is going to be a one-score game for sure, so I would definitely take the under on that one, or at least the even or whatever it's happening, or 7.5 points. The Detroit Lions, 10 points. That is a lot. That is a lot of points. I understand the Commanders are underdogs. I understand they're not perfect. They just assembled their team together this year, so they would have to defy a lot of odds and a lot of expectations. But I would almost take that. Almost. Just because the Lions are so, like, their defensive coordinator and what they're doing with the pieces they got is phenomenal. That offense run by Ben Johnson is elite against the Washington Commanders team that is not perfect. They're not perfect by any means. And I just feel like the Lions could definitely take advantage of the Commanders. So this 10-point thing, it does seem like a lot, but the more I think about it, the more I believe it. The more I think it's possible that this could be a 2-score game for sure. The over-under being 55.5 points, man, that would have to be like a – because I can see the Commanders maybe getting like 20 points against this defense, 21, somewhere around there. The Detroit Lions could probably get about like 30-something. So with that being said, I would say like 32 points for the Lions. I think they can get somewhere around there. And then the Commanders got 21-20. So I'll probably take the under on the 55.5. So far I got the under on both games. I have Jared Goff, Jahmyr Gibbs, Aiden Hutchinson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Penei Sewell-Sanders. Damn, you are not a Lions fan. That's cool, man. I'm happy for that. That's actually dope, dude. You got some great players, especially if they win a Super Bowl, man. That's probably gonna mean a lot more. That's probably gonna mean a lot more to you, man. That's probably gonna mean a lot more to you. And I wish you nothing but the best, dude. That's crazy. That's awesome, dude. You got all the classic, like top tier signatures on there, man. That's awesome. I'm a big Steve Young fan. Got to support our former high school quarterback and best friend of our families. He helped my mom move into our house when your dad got married. That's awesome, man. No doubt. You got to support the hometown hero, dude. Got to support the hometown hero for sure. Got to do it. I got Jerry Rice rookie card signed by him and regular card of him. That's dope, dude. That's dope. The greatest player in NFL history. Got his rookie card. That's elite. That's elite, man. All right, so Los Angeles Rams at the Philadelphia Eagles. This one's kind of big. Some people have the Vikings going to the Eagles. Clearly, I have the Eagles beating the Rams. I'm pretty sure that's going to happen. The Vikings had their holes, while the Eagles, man, I just think they're just the Eagles. Even if I think Hurts is not even a top 10 quarterback, you can win a Super Bowl with him in the sense that you got all the weapons in the world. You got the offensive line. You got the running back who's practically MVP offensive player of the year. You got the defensive coordinator with the defense that's the best in the league next to the Kansas City Chiefs. Man, it's the whole package when it comes to the Eagles. And if they lose this game, I would be rather shocked. I really would, just because the Rams have their offensive issues a little bit. I know they didn't show it too much against the Vikings, but the Vikings didn't help their defense at all. Sam Darnold didn't help them at all. And at some point, your defense, no matter how good, is going to cave if your offense does nothing. If your offense does nothing and the defense is just constantly out there all the time, your defense is going to end up looking like shit and probably the worst in the entire league. So that's kind of what I think happened with the Vikings. The Vikings just couldn't do it on offense, and it just hindered their defense. Now, the Eagles, on the other hand, I think the Eagles will definitely be able to stump the Rams a little bit more, hold them down to maybe a lot less points than what the Rams end up getting in the end. And the Eagles, I think at this point, will probably just need to score like 21 to 24 points to beat the Rams. Because the Rams versus good defenses have not played very well. And if the Eagles on offense don't make mistakes, if Jalen Hurts just doesn't make any mistakes, this Eagles team will win, and I think we'll win by double digits. I'm serious. I truly think that. They just got the whole package. Rams just have to got the holes. 6.5 points. I'm actually surprised it's not a little bit higher, but I understand there's a lot of hype right now with the Rams. I will take the over on the 6.5 for sure. I understand the Philadelphia guys didn't play very well against the Packers, and the Packers are kind of in it a little bit, but the difference with that is it's their first wild card game back, first game for Hurts being back, and knocking off a little bit of rust for Hurts kind of was a big deal. Honestly, that was the thing that was holding back that offense a little bit was Hurts. And if Hurts, like I said, can just get back to mid-form, if he can get back to a top 15, top 10 quarterback in between there, this team will win a lot. Because he did not play like a top 15 quarterback. He played like a bottom 10 quarterback versus Packers and held back that squad. So if that can happen, this team will definitely get double-digit points. I got the Eagles winning this game as of right now. I like the 49ers more than the Lions, but I love the Lions. Hey, man, it's all right. You got two of your favorite teams, man. One going to the Super Bowl last year, NFC Championship games. You have a great run there. Now you have the Lions. You know what was great? Being a 49ers Lions fan was really great for you. It really didn't matter who won the NFC Championship last year. Either way, you're going to the Super Bowl, baby. Woo-woo! For sure. And now the 49ers aren't doing very well this year. You have the Lions who look like we're going to do great this year. It looks like you're set up, man. You're set up. You're set up, dude. You got to be on cloud 9 right now. You got to be on cloud 9. Baltimore Ravens at the Buffalo Bills. This is the game of wild card weekend. This is the game. Who is going to face the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC Championship game? That's what everyone's thinking about this. You and I right now, whoever's looking at the camera right now, looking right at me, you and I both know whoever wins this game will play the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. That's how we're looking at it right now. That is the narrative. Whoever wins this game has the job of beating the Chiefs in the AFC Championship. That's how we're approaching it. This is a big deal. And whoever you want to win this game is who you think will beat the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. That's how we're seeing it. Whoever you think, do you think the Bills will have a better chance or the Ravens will have a better chance? And that's who you're going for. That's who you're going for. Unless you're a Bills fan, unless you're a Ravens fan. Outside of that, that's the narrative. And what's really crazy about this is tight. No one knows who's really going to win this game. It is a 1-point game. Literally, anyone can do this. Baltimore is favored by half a point. Sorry, by a point. And the only reason why that is the case here is because the Baltimore Ravens have significantly more than the Buffalo Bills. What the Bills have is they have an defense and they have weapons and Josh Allen. Good offensive line, one of the best, top 5 offensive line. Don't get me wrong. James Cook is not that bad. Definitely a top 10 running back in the league for sure. I don't know about top 5, but could be. You could argue it, right? But the Baltimore Ravens have at least a top 2 running back, and you have an insane threat running back in Lamar Jackson. Obviously, you could tell in the playoffs he was not afraid to run the ball, and that being the main priority. Main priority against the Steelers was Lamar being the running quarterback and Derrick Henry being running of the ball. That was the huge thing there. It wasn't passing the ball. And then taking advantage of that, there is a huge situation advantage for the Baltimore Ravens in this game. The only thing that I feel like is holding back this Ravens team against the Bills is not just Josh Allen and his incredible ability to make plays all the fucking time with bum-ass players out there. I say bum in the aspect of like he doesn't have like bona fide top 5 weapons anywhere. He doesn't have bona fide top 10, I don't even think. I don't think Shakir's even that good. He's good, but I don't think he's that good. Right? The Ravens have it all. They have a great defense. They have the great weapons. They're on a roll. They're feeling themselves. They just got done destroying a divisional opponent, which we all know divisional games are harder. If I had to think on the top of my head who I think is going to win this game, the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens will win this game. That's why I got on top of my head. Is it going to be a 1-score game, 1-point game? Maybe. But if you looked at this from a logical standpoint, Lamar has all the weapons in the world, has a great offensive line, has 2 great elite tight ends, in my opinion. Bateman, who's really, really good. I understand Flowers is out. And you got Derrick fucking Henry. So you got everything is set up for Lamar. The only thing that you can question, I feel like, in this scenario is, like I said, Josh Allen doing his thing, doing incredible things. Compared to Lamar, are we going to see a Lamar, our typical Lamar in the playoffs quarterback? Because I understand that last week against the Steelers, he dominated, but he didn't do it passing the ball. He did not do that passing the ball. He did it running the ball. And we all saw that. And the Steelers could do nothing about it. They had no answers. I feel like the Bills will have answers. I think they will do a lot better against that situation. So can Lamar overcome his playoff woes? Can he win 2 straight playoff games? Can he do it? This is big. This is big for Lamar. The biggest question mark right now is Lamar Jackson in this game, in my opinion. What kind of Lamar are you going to get? If you get a great Lamar who's in the regular season Lamar, MVP Lamar, then this game will be dominated. And the Bills will probably lose by more than a point. I'll tell you that much. More than a field goal. Maybe a 1-score game, but it'll probably be like 7 points. If Lamar could play like his MVP self like he does in the regular season. But if we get playoff Lamar from the previous years, this game, I feel like we'll go to the Buffalo Bills. I truly do think that. So the over-under is going to be 51 points. Would I take the over or the under on this? I'm going to take the over. Like, easily take the over. I'm not even going to second guess this. Okay, this is going to be a high-scoring game. Josh Allen can't be stopped, man. He's going to score a shit ton of points. He's going to get 25-plus points. The Ravens, if Lamar is who he is going to score 25-plus points. I'm not even going to hesitate and take the over of 51.5 points. I would be shocked if it's under 51 points, 51.5. I'm easily taking the over on this one, for sure. So those are the odds heading into the divisional round. Let me know who you guys got. What's your over? What is your under? I'll end up probably making a video about this another time later down in the future. Kind of like when I did the must wins. I'll probably do the same thing maybe Thursday or tomorrow. I'll do like must win segment. Or I might do that with Poggy on the Wolfie and Poggy show on Friday. But look forward to that. Have my must win players of each team. In each game, who needs the most, right? And we'll go through that. But that's who I got for the odds of the game. Great segment idea, Michael. I appreciate you. This segment is brought to you by Michael Catanzaro. Appreciate you, man. I probably butchered last name. I apologize. But all right, let's go ahead and look at some comments that I missed. I just want to get through that subject real quick. We'll remove that. Fair enough, Michael. Texans debatable. I just think that it was a Houston versus Washington Super Bowl. Both sides as 49ers coaches. D'Amico, though, come on. Signed helmet. My dad thought I wouldn't know who Montana is. Oh, my God, dude. If you didn't know who Montana is and you have a channel, bro, if you were like 10 or 11 years old, fine. Okay, you still have things to learn. But there's no way. That's absolutely hilarious, though. That's absolutely hilarious. I missed that comment. That's funny. I have Jared Goff. Saw that. I'm a big Steve Dummy. I'm from Detroit. I'm from Detroit. Eminem style. I like being from Connecticut. I've been a 49ers fan 47 years. Hate both New York teams. Some have Baltimore over Buffalo. Gotcha. So were you – I know you said that you're a fan of the 49ers before because of Steve Young, and I get that. But were you always a 49ers fan? Was that the definitive team for you? Right? Or did you just not get into football and always love football once Steve Young was kind of involved? Because there was football around before Steve Young played for the 49ers, right? He was actually drafted to the Bucs. So were you a Bucs fan prior to that? I'm actually rather curious. My cousin got worried thinking the Ravens would play the Chiefs, but got relieved when he saw the Ravens are going to play the Bills. I don't know why you'd be relieved. That's going to be it's so many question marks in that game, dude. There's going to be so many question marks. When was the last time Baltimore played Buffalo? That's a good question. Of course, man, always been a 49ers fan when Montana played. Okay, I was just curious. So you must have been ecstatic when he got traded, man. You must have been banging the table for him to play. I wouldn't blame you. When was the last time? Let me check. When was the last time. Let me check. When was the last time Baltimore played Buffalo? That's a good question. It was this year, and Baltimore fucking obliterated the Ravens, dude. That's right. I totally forgot about that. 35-10. However, that was early on in the year, and we all know that early on games are not always the same as new games, as playoff games, and we all know that. So this could be different. This could be a outlier, but my God, let's look at the stats real quick. Josh Allen was 16 for 29, 180 yards. I know Allen did not get off to a great start. I do know that. A lot of quarterbacks didn't get off in a great start this year. There's actually a narrative going on. What the fuck's happening with quarterbacks? And, should they play preseason? Is that the reason why? I know that was a conversation. So this could just be a huge outlier right now because Josh Allen didn't get, really going until later on in the season. Not later on, but, a couple games later. 60 for 29, 180 yards. James Cook, 9 for 39, 4.3 yards a carry. They have Josh Allen, who has 4.2 yards a carry, so they're obviously have no real trouble running the ball. It's not great, but still good. Josh Allen didn't play very well. He dished the ball to so many people, but Kincaid was his number one target here, it seems, next to Shakir. Coleman, a couple shots to him. The defense for the Bills, they were able to sack Lamar Jackson at least one time from what I see here, which is pretty good for against a mobile quarterback. As for Lamar Jackson, 13 for 18, 156 yards, 2 touchdowns. Again, the narrative of quarterbacks not playing very well from the start. But Derrick Henry 24 carries, 199 yards, 8.3 yards a carry, and a tutty. That is crazy. And he has a receiving touchdown, Derrick Henry does. So Derrick Henry was the story of this defense. What does the run defense rank for the Bills? I think the Bills have a poor run defense. Bills run defense rank. Defensive yards average. Team pass and rushing stats. It's total passing. Hold on. Rushing defense. It's passing there. All right. Where's the rushing? Okay. Ravens have the best run defense in the league. And then the Bills have the 12th ranked rushing defense with 115.5 yards on average allowed. Their playoff average, though, is 79, even though it's just one game, so you can't really say that. Rushing TDs allowed, they've allowed 13. Ravens have allowed 12. So it's a little bit – the Ravens have a very good rushing defense. So it looks like – when was this updated last? It was January 14th. I'll share the tab with you guys so you guys can see it. So this was the tab. This is the passing defense. Total defense here. We'll look at the passing ones instead. All right, so passing, you got the Eagles, obviously, of course. Titans, Commanders, Jets. Hey, look, 49ers. Look at that. 192 passing. They were just really shit on running. Running the football was their biggest issue. Stopping the run was the 49ers' biggest issue. Passing, I don't think passing was really the biggest issue. And clutch moments was kind of a problem. But 192, hey, like number 5, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. But let's get back to it. Bills and Ravens. I'm having a brain fart. Jesus Christ. Ravens have the 31st passing defense in the fucking league. Oh my God. 244 on average. The Bills are 24th, 226. While they're really good at stopping the run, and the Ravens are more of a running team than a passing team, and the Ravens don't have Flowers, this is going to be a passing game, guys. If I'm a defensive coordinator, if I'm the offensive coordinator, man, I'm attacking with the passing game, and I trust the Bills in the passing game way more than the Ravens. Damn, dude. 27 passing touchdowns allowed, which is more than the 49ers. Bills have 28. Oh, my God. We're going to see a passing game for sure. That's wild, guys. That's wild. Niners in the house. Good to see you. Good to see you. Sup, Wolfpack, showing some love. That's what I like to see. See him call my dad, telling him he was traded to the 49ers. Dope, dude. That's dope. That's dope. You got that woven. You're woven in with the 49ers, synced in. But it looks like it's going to be a passing game against the Ravens and Bills. If I was offensive coordinator, that's how I'd approach it. 31st in passing for the Ravens. That is fucking crazy. 31st in passing defense. That's wild. I never would have guessed that. I'm not going to lie to you. I never would have guessed that in a million years. Maybe mid, but 31st. As for the Bills, they're 24th? Yeah, it was 24th for the Bills. So we're going to see a passing game, guys. This is going to be a high-scoring game. So let's go back to what I said on my over-under. I'm definitely taking the over. I already said I was definitely taking the over before. I'm sticking to my guns. This is going to be a passing game like crazy. So that's wild. That's wild. Ravens, though, have the best run defense in the league. So if the Ravens could just focus on the passing more, give up a little bit on the rushing, not like obviously just give it a complete cook run, but obviously scheme up a lot more focus on the passing game than the run game. Like if they gave up 100 yards, that's okay, but as long as they helped out the pass defense a little bit more, I think the Ravens could do it, but I don't see that happening, man. 31st in passing defense is wild. That is absolutely wild. That game is going to be a bloodbath. Niners, 110%. I'm excited about it, dude. I am super, 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 super excited about that game. That's going to be my favorite game of the wild card weekend. And the narrative for that one is whoever wins that game is going to face the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. That's the narrative for that one. So, what else was I going to talk about? What else was I going to talk about? I talked about. Was going to do a post-weekend reaction to the NFL weekend stuff, but I got to get going. We're almost at an hour. I have to go do some stuff, and I will have a show with 49ers Media at 4:30, so be sure to check that out, guys. We're going to talk DC. We're going to talk special teams candidates and Brock Purdy's contract. We'll do that at 4:30. Hope to see you guys there. We'll probably talk about the NFL weekend post-analysis to all the teams and talk about them a lot more in the future. We'll probably do that. I can't tell. I don't know if I'll make a video on it or if I will go live for it tomorrow or Thursday. We will talk about it a little bit on the Wolfie and Poggy show on Friday. The reason why the Wolfie and Poggy show is going to be on Friday is because obviously the playoff games are on Saturday and Sunday. So on Friday, we're moving the Wolfie Poggy show. I don't know a time yet. Probably going to be 9 a.m. and I'll let you guys know what we do there. But yeah, it's going to be this wild card weekend is going to be a fucking blast. The only one I really feel like there's two games I feel like that could be a blowout here. Hold on. They don't have it here, but I feel like the Houston Texans one versus Chiefs could get out of hand, and the Lions versus Commanders can get out of hand. So those two games probably the ones that got out of hand. Strawberry in the house. That's somewhat skewed for the 49ers. Wide pass when you can rush with ease. Exactly. That's what I said earlier. If a run defense was our biggest issue, right? That was the biggest problem with the 49ers. They have a very good passing defense, obviously. So that's more of a shout out to like Lenore, shout out to Ward, shout out to Brown, shout out to Mustafa, shout out to even Hufunga who played some games, shout out to those passing defenders out there. Since Nick Sorensen did something right, passing wise, but run defense was the biggest issue. And you don't exactly have, talking about the 49ers defense here, you don't have the run stoppers, and that proved it. Hargrave wasn't one. Evan Anderson probably was one. Malik Collins is kind of one, but you don't have Leonard Floyd, who's really one. Nick Bosa has kind of been known to miss tackles on runs, so you kind of have that line. The line for the 49ers was the biggest issue, I think, on defense. And like I said, I don't think Nick Sorensen was that bad, and I feel like that stat alone backed it up. Fifth in passing defense is actually pretty damn good. But we got beat. We got gashed in the run defense. Gashed. I should actually check to see what that rush defense was. Let me check on total defense. 49ers were actually ranked 8th in total defense. But their rushing defense, let's see how bad that was only 18th. So was Nick Sorensen that bad? Because that's actually not that bad. I was actually expecting that to be 31st. Maybe our standard is just a little bit high for this 49ers defense because we're spoiled with Robert Saleh and D'Amico Ryans. Because that's actually not that bad. So maybe 5th in passing defense, 18th in rushing defense. I mean, it's bad. Like, it's not great, right? It's not good. It's like mid. It's literally mid, right? You had a mid-ass defense. And that's what I've been saying about Nick Sorensen. He had moments. But the big thing about Nick Sorensen is in those big moments, he doesn't show up. It's kind of like a Sam Darnold thing where it's like he played good in the regular season, but in the moments where you needed those stops and you needed those plays, you didn't get those. That's the problem. That's what these stats don't tell you. They do not tell you the moments in which you needed to get those stops. Like Seattle, for example, the Cardinals, the Rams, these stats don't tell you that. You needed those stops and you didn't get those. So he has the stats, but the big moments for Nick Sorensen was the problem. Key for both teams to not throw interceptions that can cause victory. Exactly. It could come down to a one. It could come down to a turnover game for sure. It can. Allen's a gunslinger. Lamar, not really a gunslinger, but he can make mistakes, throw interceptions. Really kind of up in the air. One will related to handle the Rams tonight, telling them Eagles will end at their run. Yeah, that's the table I'll be banging for a while. Just Eagles are gonna win this shit, get it over with. Hi, Strawberry. How's your Tuesday going? Hi, guys. How are you guys? We're showing love in the house. Oh. Yeah, let's go. All right, guys. I do have to bounce. It is an hour. Again, I'm going to go live again with 49ers meeting at 4:30. Hope to see you guys there. Support him. Sub if you haven't already. The dude loves football, man. He's going to be very consistent in the offseason. Check him out. And then Strawberry says the 49ers have interviewed another special teams coordinator. Oh, shit. Let's check that out real quick. Hold on. Strawberry's keeping me around. Who do they interview? Because so far I've already looked at Jet and Chris Banjo. Those are the latest that I've seen. That's the latest I've seen. I guess they're focusing more on special teams coordinator and DC. I guess special teams, really, honestly, that's good. That means they're doing everything they can to not focus on getting Nick Sorensen the job. Also, it's probably because Robert Saleh does have the number one priority for the job, right? From what I hear for the 49ers. So maybe they're just waiting for Robert Saleh to go through his head coaching jobs and waiting for an answer for him before trying to pick a defensive coordinator. They have interviewed a defensive coordinator already and a passing game coach from the passing game coordinator and DB's coach from the Lions already, and Robert Saleh. So they do have a backup guy just in case Robert Saleh falls through and then he takes a job somewhere. And if they don't take him, sadly, I know people don't like this. They have Staley in the wings as well. So they have three options waiting for them. So it's not entirely like they're not focused on defensive coordinator. They probably just like all three of those options. That could be it. They probably like Staley. They probably like Townsend from the Lions. And, of course, they like Robert Saleh. As for special teams coach, that one is definitely a question mark. And as long as it's not Nick Sorensen, we can all agree on that. So I'm glad they're taking special teams really seriously, but they probably like the other candidates they've interviewed already. Chris Tabor used to be special teams coach. So Robert Saleh has already had his interview with the Jacksonville Jaguars, and Robert Saleh will have his interview with the Raiders on Thursday. So we'll probably know about Robert Saleh on Friday. Let me look up. I don't see a special teams coach. You said Chris Tabor? For the past special teams coordinator, interim head coach Chris Tabor interviewed today for 49ers special teams coordinator. Okay, I see it. I see that. 49ers completed an interview with Chris Tabor for special teams coordinator vacancy. Tabor is special teams coordinator for Bears, Browns, and Panthers in 2023. Also served as Carolina's interim head coach. We'll have to take a look at his stats later on. I don't have time. I'll have to check that out. Do a little bit of research on him. Probably talking about him in the 49ers media stream a little bit later. But, yeah, but you can still interview DC even if Saleh is the favorite. That's what I'm saying, though. They have. They like Staley, and they probably like the passing game coordinator and DB's coach from the Lions. So they are doing something like that. But I do think that as you're waiting for Saleh, you're one person interviewing people. You can't just be like, this guy interviews this person. Like, you want Kyle to interview him. You want Lynch to interview him. That's what you want the most. And I'm glad they're the worst thing that the 49ers had out of all the coaches was special teams. And I'm glad they're making this a little more attention to detail. I'm not saying they're ignoring DC at all, but clearly they have three that they like waiting in the wings. That's what I'm definitely seeing here. Dennis Allen might be DC. I have heard that he might be rumored to the team, but they have not interviewed him. It's only as a conversation. So far, it's been nothing but opinion pieces like, hey, Dennis Allen could be the DC 49ers. I think this. There is no actual real connection that Dennis Allen could be the DC. I know that a lot of people don't like Staley, but I'm going to keep banging the table for this. Not banging the table because I feel like that's too strong of a word. But I do feel like we should have an open mind. We should be a little bit open-minded. He was a really good defensive coordinator, shitty head coach. And we all know that those are two different jobs. So I'm not saying I want it, but if it happens, I'll be a little open-minded. I don't want to say optimistic. That's a bit of a strong word, but I'll be open-minded, if that means anything. I'm intrigued by Lou Anamaro, probably because his name is fun to say. I'm not a fan of anything from the Bengals, dude. Anything to do with the defense from the Bengals, stay the fuck away, dude. I will lose my shit. I will be super cynical as fuck. I will be doubtful from the start. I may be proven wrong, all right, and I'll own up to it. But Jesus Christ, he was involved in the defense this year. No thanks. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. All right, guys, I'm going to bounce. This was a great show, excellent show. I did not plan for this to last an hour. And guess what? Per usual, you guys make this show happen. You guys make this show run. It's nothing without you guys. Seriously, love you guys. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Michael, you're awesome as always. Papa J, the best mod a fucking bro could ask for, 110%. Strawberry, as always, man. I know you came in late, but I appreciate you joining, supporting the channel. Appreciate your opinions, dude. Niners for life. Appreciate you as well. You're awesome. Go Blue Productions. Good luck with your Lions, man. I wish you nothing but the best. It's awesome what you got there, the signings from those players you got. Be sure, again, I know for the 100th time, going live with 49ers Media at 4:30. Be there. We're going to talk special teams, DC, Brock Purdy's contract, and the latest 49ers news. Who else we got? Eric Shun. Even though I don't think you're a 49ers fan, I could be wrong, but I appreciate you anyway, supporting the channel, showing up. There was somebody else. And Val, of course. I almost forgot Val. Val always makes an appearance, always makes sure that this fucking live is popping. So I thank you guys so much. You guys are awesome. Hope to see you at 4:30. 49ers Media. Be there. To everyone who watched this later, sub if you haven't subbed already. This channel is all about having a conversation. We don't get to every subject. We have subjects, but at the end of the day, it's just about us having a conversation. Just having a good time, really, because we love football, 49ers and football. It's what we do, all right? And I don't mean to steal that from Nike. Is it Nike? I digress. You guys know what I'm talking about. Like the live. If you haven't liked the live already, helps me out a lot, helps this channel go out, helps reach out to more people, helps us grow, and it helps the conversation grow. And we learn together. I don't always know everything, and you guys help me learn shit all the fucking time. And that's what it's all about. Again, it's just about having a great conversation. Like the live, because every single like makes my 49ers heart grow from here to here. All love, fam. All love, Wolfpack. Bang, bang, Niner gang!